It's Tom and Todd's Face Off on WRKO.com.
Well, look at everybody just got slaughtered in the stock market, and the only stock that's moving up is the Tom and Todd stock on Face Off, WRKO.com.
Are we on the NASDAQ?
The United States, for the first time in its history, has been downgraded. How bad is this for the U.S. and the world?
This is bad. There's no sugarcoating this. This is psychological. This is financial. This is political. It's all those things, and it's bad in every way, shape, or form. It's also infuriating to any rational American that somehow or other we keep screwing around and spending ourselves into oblivion and ruining the future for our children or our grandchildren. I'm old enough to have both. I worry about each generation coming after me, and we are a screwed up country.
So what was your answer?
Bad.
Bad. This is bad. Yeah, this is bad. The bad part for me is we have a political system that won't respond. That here's how we've actually become divided. We've become divided in that our political parties don't respond to the best interests of the country anymore. If you watch what the president's doing in response, everything has to do with playing to his party and their special group of voters. And every policy is designed to keep his voters happy, not to make the country better. It'd be great if he would rise to the occasion and say leadership is required here, and I'm going to lead the whole country forward, and here's my plan. He's not doing that.
Was this, as Senator John Kerry puts it, a, quote, Tea Party downgrade?
Yeah, the Tea Party is to blame here because they're the ones who brought it to everybody's attention that we had to do something about the debt. And if only they had minded their business and not forced the president to abandon his higher taxes, more spending commitment that he had just a couple months ago, then the ratings agencies all could have downgraded us. It would have been a clean sweep, and the political situation would have been much more clear.
With all due respect to Senator Kerry, this is the culmination of a 10-year drunken spending spree. And it's rapidly accelerated over the past 2 or 3 years. I'm not leaving all the blame on Obama's doorstep. There's plenty
we noticed that with the 10-year window.
There's plenty on George Bush's doorstep, and there's plenty on Congress's doorstep, which in the end brings it to John Kerry's doorstep. I mean, come on. The one party that shows up, and they might be intransigent, they might be stubborn, they might be demanding, they might be all those things, but get used to it. This is part of the political system, Senator Kerry, of which you are part. These people were elected by Americans who are fed up with punting the ball downfield and avoiding the tough decisions that are required by leadership.
I think John Kerry understands. That's why he's saying what David Axelrod told him to say, who said the exact same thing, because that's the new talking point of the administration. Once again, they're not leading the country, they're leading themselves and their baby.
How much does the downgrade hurt Obama's re-election chances?
I think it hurts him a great deal. Keep in mind that things can change rapidly in politics. 2 months ago, he was the hero of the Western world. He had taken out Osama bin Laden with the special operations raid and all that stuff, and he was cruising and a little bit cocky. He's always cocky. But this hurts, and this hurts badly, in part because there are millions of Americans unemployed, and it's frightening to them at this point how long they've been unemployed and how bleak the prospects are. And if it's not them, it's their neighbor. If it's not their neighbor, it's their child. It's somewhere in the immediate vicinity of their daily life, and they don't like what's been going on now for a couple of years. Obama gets the blame for that, so this hurts.
Well, the history is if unemployment is over 7%, you've got a tough shot being reelected. And if there's a malaise in the country, that's when we switch parties, because there's this relatively instinctive response. If these guys are screwing it up, let's change it over. If things continue even a little bit like that, I mean, it feels like we're sinking right now, a little over a year before the next election. So Obama's in deep trouble, but it depends on the Republicans being able to nominate somebody who's highly electable so that the focus stays on Obama and his disastrous presidency instead of how screwed up the Republican nominee might be. That's it for this week's Face Off. We'll be back next week right here at WRKO.com.